What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Full 90. It is time for the Champions League quarter-final second leg predictions. And what a first game week we had. Now, in the last Champions League episode, I said if you were watching in the first couple of hours, you would have been able to join the Patreon and get my exclusive tips for Monday Night Football. And those of you that did, I think there were 2 of you that managed to do it in between the 6 p.m. upload last week and the 8 p.m. kickoff for most of these games. You absolutely cleaned up with an insane Monday night, a correct score double, high odds treble, the fourfold as well with the likes of Malmo. We had a great Friday night winners treble too. And the offer once again stands. If you're watching this video within the first couple of hours, you can sign up to the Patreon and get my exclusive tips and accumulators for Monday Night Football tonight, as well as Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and every day going forward. So if you want to support the channel, get access to exclusive members tips and accumulators, and you want to have a go like a lot of members did last week, then be sure to click the link at the top of the description and join the Patreon over there. And flashing up on the screen are all of the people that have joined the Patreon and are supporting me over here on the Full 90, that allow me to do all of the research, put a lot more time into doing this. It really does mean a lot to me. And of course, you get a shout out in every single video like the people you've just seen on your screen. So if you want the shout out, you want access to the members tips and accumulators, the group chat, as well as private direct messaging to me, then click the top link in the description. Now, the first game we have for your viewing pleasure is, of course, Aston Villa up against PSG. Now, if we do a little recap of the previous game week, Arsenal obviously beat Real Madrid 3-0, deservedly so. The goals themselves probably were lower XG than some of the chances that Courtois actually managed to save, and it could have been 4 or 5-0 to Arsenal. Kylian Mbappe had a decent chance to make it 1-0 to Real Madrid, but other than that, Madrid didn't really get a sniff, and Arsenal deservedly got the win 3-0, perhaps insurmountable for Real Madrid, but who knows? Bayern Munich suffered a late defeat to Inter Milan, who won 2-1. We tipped Inter Milan +2 handicap and both teams to score at evens. In the end, they didn't even need the +1 handicap. We could have had Inter Milan and both teams to score. Barcelona beat Borussia Dortmund 4-0, and PSG beat Aston Villa 3-1. We tipped PSG and both teams to score there at 2.87. So, speaking of which, we have Aston Villa up against PSG. Unai Emery said in his post-match conference he was proud of the players and that he expects to win this second leg. And why wouldn't you? I mean, why wouldn't you expect to win? I'll tell you why. The answer being PSG. PSG look absolutely phenomenal this season. They just seem to be clicking at the right time, even as far as the Champions League is concerned, where their league stage campaign wasn't perhaps as good as they would have liked. Their knockout football has been great. They're still yet to lose in the league, of course. So I think PSG are actually going to beat Aston Villa again. I do think Aston Villa will score. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to PSG, and I thought the odds were good enough for just an outright PSG win at 2.1. However, it's very tempting to go for PSG and both teams to score again, like we saw in the first leg, because Aston Villa, you could argue that their game plan was going okay. They got the sort of counter-attacking goal, John McGinn with the good interception, turnover of possession to get the breakaway goal for Aston Villa. And it was looking like, yeah, maybe Villa could take something to Villa Park, but then especially that late third for PSG makes it all the more difficult. So they're going to have to slightly change tactic here. Perhaps absorb a little bit of pressure in the first 20 minutes, but it's going to be difficult because they need to overcome that 2-goal deficit. So I think Aston Villa do score. They've got to, but PSG looks so good. They look so fluid. I would say only Barcelona really looks better than PSG at this point. So I think PSG are going to win 2-1, and PSG to win at 2.1, as I said, is the tip. After this, it's Borussia Dortmund up against Barcelona. Barcelona winning 1-0 at the weekend, and Borussia Dortmund drawing with Bayern Munich 2-2. I think Dortmund are going to score this time. They've got the home support. It's a difficult place to go. It really is. But the deficit is too much. And not to mention, I think Barcelona are going to go and win again. So I'm going to say Barcelona to win 3-1. And again, I thought about Barcelona and both teams to score, but I thought the odds were good enough for Barcelona to win at 1.83. And I know the odds are so high because Barcelona could lose by 2 goals and really they've got through at a canter. You know, even if it's 2-0, they win 4-2 on aggregate. But I think Barcelona will want to go forward and win this one. And I do think they are just so much better than Borussia Dortmund that despite being 4 goals up, they still win. It's not like when Arsenal were 6 goals up against PSV and I saw no reason for Arsenal to go and win the second leg despite them being so much better and we predicted a score draw. I think Barcelona are just so much better than Dortmund that if the players are on the pitch, they're going to win. So I'm going to go 3-1 to Barcelona. After this, Inter Milan up against Bayern Munich. The closest tie of the four, determining who gets through to the semi-final. It's the Italian best versus the German best, essentially. And now, last game week in the quarterfinal first leg, as I said, we sided with an Inter Milan result and both teams to score. I'm going to go the other way this time and side with the Bayern Munich result and both teams to score, but I'm not going to go the whole way for Bayern and both teams to score. I think Inter Milan, with their defensive prowess this season, they're going to keep it low scoring. Even though Bayern score a lot of goals, I think Inter can restrict them to one again. Bayern Munich could and should win this. The bookies say Bayern Munich are slight favourites. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, but the tip is going to be Bayern Munich double chance and both teams to score at 2.25. On the basis that Inter Milan don't need to win this to go through, and I think Bayern Munich are a very good team, I think Inter will be able to sort of pragmatically make their way through despite not winning this second leg thanks to their brilliant result in the first leg. And what a goal that was, by the way, from Lautaro Martinez outside of the foot, top right corner, unsavable. I think Inter Milan get the job done 1-1, but obviously, if Bayern Munich go on an absolute madness and win this one 3-1 and qualify as a very good team that they are, then Bayern Munich double chance and both teams score comes in. And again, odds are 2.25. I like it. So I'm shading which team I think might get a result here and chucking both teams to score on, like I did in the first leg when I sided with Inter Milan. I don't know why. I just think the first leg, I felt Inter Milan were undervalued. And the second leg here, I think Bayern Munich is do or die. So it pays to side with a double chance for Bayern because that allows for the draw that Inter Milan would be more than happy with. So that's what I'm going with there. And the final one, it's Real Madrid up against Arsenal. Now, sometimes I do get the chance to watch people's predictions videos before I make mine, particularly with the Champions League because I make it on the day I upload it. So sometimes people upload before I get the chance to record. And I have to say, I watched Bogdan's video yesterday, and I think he was romanticizing Real Madrid a little bit too much. Bit of a nostalgia merchant, should we say, and perhaps I'll eat my words on this one, but Thogden said Real Madrid would qualify past Arsenal, and I'm gonna, maybe I'll hold my hands up if I'm wrong. I'm opening up myself to look like an absolute moron here. There is no chance Real Madrid qualify here. I'm just gonna say it. I think they can win, but there's just no way. So let's open myself up to criticism. I'm going to go for a Real Madrid win, 2-1. The tip is going to be over 2.5 goals at 1.57. That is it's an absolute banker in my opinion. That is as far as I will go to respecting Real Madrid in this tie, in the sense that Real Madrid need goals to have a sniff at qualifying. If they are going to qualify, let's say, and I'm wrong, then over 2.5 goals will happen. The only way this doesn't come in is if Arsenal pull off a defensive masterclass and it's 1-1 or 1-0 or something like that. Real Madrid need to score goals. You could look at Real Madrid over 1.5 goals, but the odds for that are probably pretty low. I just think over 2.5 goals at 1.57 is pretty likely, but I tell you what it is, it's way more likely than Real Madrid to qualify because maybe they have 0.001% chance, but the people online just saying that you never know, like you got the Carlo Ancelotti raised eyebrow memes that they're going to make this sort of massive comeback. They're just not. They are just not. And I will say we correctly predicted Real Madrid to win 1-0 away at Alaves, and they did, despite a Kylian Mbappe red card towards the end of the first half, but he won't be missing this game. Yeah, sure, Real Madrid can win, but I think Arsenal are going to qualify. So if everything happens the way I've suggested, then there won't really be any upsets in the sense that the teams that performed better in the first leg will go on to qualify. So that would be an Arsenal and PSG semi-final on the one side and a Barcelona Inter Milan semi-final on the other. And I'd love nothing more than this. First of all, it would be exciting that one of Arsenal or PSG makes the final because I think both teams are very exciting to watch. Naturally, Barcelona are favourites to make to the final as well. But I'd love for it to be a repeat of the 06 final, Arsenal up against Barcelona. And then if Arsenal can beat Barca in the final, what a great Barca team they are. It would be just an incredible Champions League campaign. And I got to be honest, I thought it was good during the league stage. There were a lot of people that are skeptical with regards to the Champions League in this new format. I don't know about you. I think it's been a really good Champions League season. I thought there was a bit more excitement with the league stage rather than, you know, teams in the group stage before, just having more dead games. And also the stipulations as to every result in the league stage. Liverpool losing to PSV when it didn't matter meant that they played PSG in the next round rather than someone much easier. You know, we forget Liverpool were the favourites to win the Champions League. They got knocked out by PSG after throwing away their game that didn't matter against PSV. So I think there's a lot to like about this Champions League format, and I really enjoy it. So that's it. Let me know your predictions down in the comments below. Am I a mug for writing off Real Madrid at the Bernabeu? Like I said, let me know. Subscribe while you're down there. Drop a like, and I'll see you in the next video very soon.